What's up, everybody? Welcome to the after show, but later. It's your boy D. I had one of my homies hit me up, and he was like, "Did you introduce yourself as Z in one of the last episodes?" And I was like, "I might have edited it because I might have been like D blah blah blah, and fucking I cut it up and it sounded weird." So, not Z. It's your boy D. Shout out to X. What's up? That was cool. But yeah, man, fucking here we are again. I always enjoy doing this with my buddy. I have the one and only, once again, El Kukui. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
Very good, very tired, very ready for the fucking week. And it's cool, man. It was funny because this morning, I know Cavino and Rich have been doing a lot of talk about the stock market and all that shit.
Right.
And, you know, I've been checking my little shit. It was funny because, you know, I've never followed like their friend Doug. I've never followed like any of his advice and shit. So I was like, I felt like one of the Carls posted, they were like, as soon as I buy shit or I bet on a team, either the stock goes into the red or the team loses. He was like, I've never fucking came up on any of this shit. And it was funny because I never put my faith into that dude. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I was like, Cavino and Rich keep like fucking swinging from his nuts saying he's like dope. All the people on the Carl page saying he's dope. So, and this was no fault of his. I mean, this dude, I'm still holding on some of the stocks he said, but it was funny because I sold all my shit and dumped a grip of money into a couple of the ones he mentioned. And then the next morning is when all of that shit hit with GameStop and all that. And all my shit dwindled to like fucking peanuts. And I was fuck. If I would have just, I mean, I'm sure I would have taken a hit if I'd have left my shit because, I mean, the whole market kind of took a hit, you know?
It did.
But yeah, I saw all that shit. And then so today, I've been in my little fucking stock trading mode. So I waited at 7:30 here, my time. I fucking was like, the market's opening, let's go, you know? And I fucking opened it and nothing was moving. And then I saw like a little asterisk on one of the things and it said something about when the market's closed, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why the fuck is it closed? I'm like, it's already 7:33. They should have been open for 3 minutes. Right. And then I realized it was Sunday. And I was like, oh
shit. Yeah, no Saturday, Sunday service.
Yeah, and Cavino said you could call Fidelity, or Rich said, and because I traded with Fidelity, and they had said you can call and they'll enable the trading like for off hours or whatever. But I was like, I'm not gonna fuck with all that. I'm cool, you know.
Yeah. No, I got a Charles Schwab, and they're the same way. And then I got Principal, my old company that I used to work for. They switched from Vanguard to Principal, so I don't know a lot about this company, but they just transferred that over. But neither one of them allow trading on the weekend either. But I think you're right. I think you can call them and get it fixed.
No, and see, I just actually right before I hit you up so we could record, I was trying to log into to an E-Trade account because what sucks right now is there's one stock that it's like it's a penny stock, and you were able to trade it back in the day, like a few months ago. I was able to trade it, and they just stopped. You're not able to trade anymore on that stock, and they had said like you can sell it if you want, but you just can't buy more. And so I was like, what the fuck? So I hit up Fidelity, and they had told me that what happens is with a penny stock like that, if they don't have enough information, they'll kind of put a hold on the trading. So that's where they're at right now. And then one of the Carls was like, I had mentioned something on the page. One of the Carls was like, I have Fidelity, I can do it. And he showed me like a screenshot of where you get to where you can buy it.
Right.
And I was like, fuck. I was like, how come he can buy it but I can't, you know? And then I went into my account. I can get exactly to where he screenshotted, but when you hit buy, that's when they give you the error message, you know?
I wonder why.
I don't know. I don't even know why it allows you to go that far.
Right.
And you know, it should just say, hey, you can't fucking trade this, you know? But they let you put how many you want, you know, whatever the amount is or whatever. And then you hit buy and it's like, boom, it gives you this error message. But somebody on the Carl page said you could trade that stock through like E-Trade. So I made a little E-Trade account and I was fucking with it before I hit you up.
Right.
And I was going to see if I could trade some of that stock on E-Trade. So We'll see. I've never used E-Trade. The only thing I've ever used is I used Robinhood like maybe like 2 years ago, and they give you like a free stock and shit, but I really didn't care for it. And then thank goodness my homie Johnny, who we've done the podcast with, told me, he was like, hey, he's like, don't fuck with Robinhood. He's like, that's some amateur shit. And he's like, go with something like he said, like Charles Schwab or Fidelity or established companies.
Right.
He was like, because a newer company like that could fuck you over. They could get fucked over, and they'll fuck over, like, it's basically like banking with like a local fucking person, right?
Right.
Who isn't
For
insured.
sure.
And so I took his advice because I was like, he's smarter than I am. So I fucking took his advice. I made my account with Fidelity, and I've been trading with Fidelity for the last like 2 years. Never had any issues. And then all this shit hit with Robinhood, and everybody, like even people that I know have like a grip of money invested, are like getting fucked on Robinhood, and
Robinhood.
I'm just like, thank God, I'm not fucking with that,
Well, they got no power either, because I mean, if you think about it, the Fidelities and the Schwabs and the Vanguards, dude, they've got billions and billions invested in funds and whatnot. So they've got power, right? They've got
Mm-hmm.
influence because the amount of money they hold in the market. And so, when they have that much invested, everyone wants their business. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot less likely they're going to get screwed over, or they're going to screw you over, like your buddy said, because just of the weight they carry in the industry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Who's Robin Hood? I mean, you're right. They could disappear tomorrow and no one give two shits.
Yeah, and and they're fucking over so many other people. Like I saw, it was either T Samra on the Carl page or Sunny something with the S and a K in his name. I forget what the fuck his name is, but one of those people that you see, one of the, I guess, smarter people you see on the Carl page, when they talk about investing, they had mentioned that now Genus, that GNUS stock that people are waiting to fucking shoot to the moon, is
Right.
now fucked on Robinhood as well. So Robinhood is fucking holding not only stocks like GameStop and shit like that people were fucking with on Reddit. Now they're holding like Genus and other stocks like that. So they're fucking themselves, because they're getting such a bad fucking reputation right now. People
Right.
are fucking dipping as soon as they can now on them.
I like that the people that influence the price to go up. I do like that they showed that and they went outside of the traditional, Wall Street broker approach. And
Mm-hmm.
because you know what, dude, Donald Trump did the same shit. Whenever he would say something, the market would either drop or it would go up based on whatever he said. If he said they were going to release some type of funding, or right, whenever the coronavirus and the stimulus funding was coming out, the market would go up on hopes that funding would help the economy recover. So he's
Mm-hmm.
been manipulating that market since he got into office,
Mm-hmm.
and it was definitely, to me, it was a delight to see regular people that are more like us do the same thing and have the same kind of power. And it's up to the people. I wouldn't have bought GameStop. I don't care how much it's going up, because if you take the financial aspect of it, popularity doesn't pay your bills. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So at some point, they're going to have to start turning a profit uh, to get a return to the shareholders. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I did like the fact that they were able to manipulate it, and a bunch of people buying shares, it made the price go up, even if the company's not necessarily showing value.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's actually GameStop, I think Michael's, there was a handful of stocks that, like, have you seen the movie The Big Short?
I've seen parts of it. I don't think I've seen it all the way through.
I've seen it a couple of times because I'm a fucking idiot, so I didn't understand it the first time. And what do you call it? It's funny because in that movie, Christian Bale's character is based on a real dude. I forget what his name is, but I was following the real dude right
Okay.
over the last like year or so, and he was talking about stocks that he's getting out of and shit. And GameStop was one of them. Michaels was another one, and it was the dude who fucking shorted fucking all the companies in 2008 and made a fucking bajillion dollars. So
Right.
when he was talking about these companies, like he was getting out of these, I was like, fuck it. And I was like kind of thinking, yeah, GameStop, like I don't know if they're losing out to like Amazon and shit like that, where people are just buying their shit online or whatever. But I was like, yeah, it kind of makes sense or whatever. But just by taking his word for it, I never bought into it. And now I'm like, fuck, if I would have bought like one share, I would have fucking sold that
Right.
bitch right now. And like I saw there was an article. I don't know if somebody posted it on the Covino and Rich pages or if it was just on my normal news feed. But there was some little black kid who bought like $11 worth of fucking GameStop in like fucking like 3 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and then now it's worth like fucking $3,000 or something, or 11 grand or some shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it was like he sold all of his shit and it showed this little kid with like his certificate and shit, you know? Yeah, man, but it was cool to see the little black kid with his little certificate. Like, I came up, you know?
Hell yeah. Well, you know, like for me, what GameStop is, I mean, think about it, dude. All these new systems, the PS5 and then the new Xbox, they were
Mm,
built to download straight to the console. And they all offer like terabytes of storage. Like, unless you just want that physical copy, which if you follow Gary Vee, maybe they do keep making physical copies because there's an investor value to it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
mm,
down the line. But why would you go to GameStop, a middleman, and when, you know, even for like the people who publish the games, it's a lot more profitable if they can just deliver it to you straight and not have to manufacture and get artwork and, you know what I'm saying, and all that bullshit done. So I just don't think GameStop's viable for the long term.
mm.
But I still do like what these kids did. You know, and they're all
You
going to
know,
lose their money.
that trips me out. I'm glad you said that because as I was like thinking about GameStop, I'm like, well, people do buy games and shit. I'm somebody who hasn't played a fucking game since like Grand Theft Auto 2, you know, like,
Right.
or fucking GoldenEye, you know.
Right.
So when you say you download it directly to your fucking system, I'm like, oh, cool, that's dope. I thought you physically had to go out and fucking buy the game still.
No, it's like downloading a movie. And if you think about it, Apple keeps making their computers smaller because they're doing what? They're getting rid of the disk drive.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting rid of the chargers and all the USB ports and all the bullshit. The way we're going in technology is going to be straight communication through Bluetooth or wireless download of some
Mm-hmm.
sort. So even to keep, when's the last time you popped in a DVD? Right?
Yeah.
Everyone always talks about Netflix and chill. I don't hear anybody saying, hey, let's go get a DVD and chill. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so at some point they're going to have to get rid of the disc.
You know, it's funny. I remember I was so hesitant to get a new MacBook when I had the one. It must have been 2014 or 2015, and I had got one in 2010, and it was about time for a new one or whatever. And I was like, I was so hesitant because the new ones didn't have the CD drive. So, and I was like, oh fuck, how am I gonna, like, what if I need to, download a CD or upload software or whatever the fuck?
Right.
And now the laptop I've had since about 2016 maybe. I think it was 2016 when I got this one. Um, and I never even looked back at that little CD-ROM drive and all that bullshit, you know?
Right. I don't know the last time I don't even think I have any, dude. Even the
Hmm.
drivers, you know what I mean? You just download it off the internet.
Yeah, yeah, everything. Any driver you fucking go like, whether it's a printer or whatever the fuck it is, and half the time you don't even need the drivers because, you fucking do your little Bluetooth search and it finds it right away. You connect it that way,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
And
hell yeah.
it's crazy how shit. And see, I'm at that mentality again as far as like not wanting to get a new laptop and shit because the one I have still has like the USB ports and shit. And I'm
Right.
like, with these, I plug in my fucking like my mic I'm using right now, right? I'm plugging
Right.
in my I plugged into my USB port and all that. And I know you could get adapters and that kind of shit, but right now I always have that fucking that hesitation, to make the leap. So
Right. Or even get the blue. You could probably get the Bluetooth mic.
I know. Yeah, really.
But I
And
was like,
yeah,
you got a few good years. You know what? You got a MacBook?
yeah, I got a MacBook.
Oh, you got a few good years left. Those things go for at least 8 to 10.
Yeah, no, and see this one I have, I don't, and see that's another thing is like I don't use like any of the storage that's on it. I do
Right.
so much editing as far as like video and audio and all that kind of shit and pictures, whatever. And it's all either in my Creative Cloud through Adobe or it's on
Right.
fucking my OneDrive through work. Through work, we have a OneDrive with an unlimited fucking storage.
Right.
And then I also have however many like fucking terabytes through iCloud. So all my shit is like digitally uploaded, which
Right.
there's a part of me that still scares the shit out of me in that, because there's an old school part of me that's like, something's going to crash or something's going to fuck up and I'm going to lose all my shit. But at the same time, when it comes to like audio and video editing and shit, I'm like, well, fuck it. It's uploaded to like places I could download it from if that ever did happen, you know?
Right. No,
The only shit the only
even
shit
for
I trip
me.
on is like the family shit, you know? Like family pictures and shit.
Right. You can't. Yeah, irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Even for me, I got a Mac Mini. I just bought the new one when they came out, but I got the small storage. I didn't get the bigger one because you don't need it. I mean, you're
Mhm.
better off to pay $2 a month through iCloud, or if you don't get a free service, um, than paying the $400 extra for extra 256 gigabytes on your computer. It don't make no sense.
No, it doesn't. And at the same time, you're like fucking when you're doing that, I mean, yeah, you can get like a better processor, a better hard drive, better this, better that. I'm like, but all keeping that shit, I don't care how good your computer is, keeping all that shit on your computer is going to slow it down at some point, you know? So
For
fuck
sure.
it. Upload it, get it off your computer, delete it off of every fucking hidden place it could be, and like there's a company, a little shit for anybody that has a MacBook, and for you even with the Mac Mini, any
Uh,
Mac people, have you ever heard of a program called Daisy?
uh-uh.
It's fucking dope, dude. I use this shit to like go through every once in a while, and it'll find shit like in your computer that you didn't even know was there. And it'll
Right.
have like a date from like 4 years ago, and it was like 3 gigs of some shit, you know?
Oh shit,
And
really?
it's fucking dope. It's like, I think it's like $10 for like the full version of it. But I
Right.
bought it like 3 years ago or some shit, and they just, as the updates come out, it updates it for you. You never have to buy it again, and it's fucking dope. I That's the easiest way I've been able to clean my computer and shit, because when I had like a PC back in like fucking 2003,
Right.
you could get into like all the like hard drives and shit and do like a deep clean, and you had to click on all this shit. With this app called Daisy, it searches your computer, it shows you shit. They even have like a little thing that pops up called hidden files, and you're like, what the fuck, there was like 12 gigs of hidden files that I didn't even know about, you know?
Hell yeah.
So, and you
Yeah, I
can't
used
fuck
to.
up your computer. You can't fuck it up, because if you try to drag something to it, it'll say, hey, you need this to like for your computer to not fuck up, to run your computer. It
Right.
won't let you delete it. So it's fucking dope.
I think I had one called MacScan, did kind of something similar for my Mac a while back.
Mm.
But yeah, hell
Yeah,
yeah, dude.
yeah, no, that shit was the only one I've used so far that has been dope. And I've had other things I've tried in the past, but this is the first one that I've used, and I took the leap and bought the $10, which sounds fucking funny, because for me it's still hard to pay for apps and shit.
Right.
But I'll fucking throw away money if I'm like at Home Depot, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah. No, me too. I'm the same way.
Yeah, man. But when it comes to this week, I mean, aside from the all the stock market shit, was there anything that stood out to you?
No, not really. What about you?
Let me see. Hold on. Actually, you know what? I do. I have a couple of notes. I have Rich talking about the parlay bets, and he was so pissed because McGregor fought over the weekend, right? And Dustin
Right.
Poirier, and he was so pissed. And are you on any of the Carl pages or no?
No.
Okay, I didn't think you were. But on one of the Carl pages, somebody was talking shit about Rich's parlay bets, right?
Right.
And my buddy had fucking hit me up, my buddy Luis, and he said, because he's been making a gang of money fucking gambling on sports and shit, right? And he turned like $50 into like 1,100 or some shit, and I was like, this motherfucker, you know? And I was like,
Damn.
and so he was like, what he's been doing like parlay bets and shit like that, where everything has to go right in order for you to win, right?
Right.
But he was like, yeah, he was telling me like how good he is at it, and I was looking at his little folder and shit, and then he was like, yeah, he's like, I just go against whatever Rich says, and so I had I screenshot it and I posted it on the Carl page, and it said it was like, yeah, dude, I've been making all kinds of money, just go off of like, just bet against Rich or some shit like that. And Rich, he commented on my shit, and he was like, yeah, real funny, bro. You know,
I
he was
knew
all
it. I
pissed.
knew it. I knew he would be. That's fucking great. That's what he gets though.
Yeah, it's fucking funny, you know, because oh, you know what though? That's a positive thing. I would say because I know last episode we kind of shit on Rich a little bit, but when it comes to
Sorry, Rich.
I yeah, it's all love, Rich. We know, you know that he'll
Yeah.
never hear this because he don't fucking like us, but it's all good. No, I was telling my girl, we went on a trip and I was telling her because I was talking to her about the stock market and shit and just like betting on sports and shit. And I was telling her it's funny because that is something that I do identify with Rich 100%, and I don't relate to Cavino on that kind of shit. Is when it comes to like the stock market, gambling on sports, and like for me, I remember Rich was talking about like if there's a big fight or something, you put like fucking $50 on the fight or whatever, and like it makes it more exciting, right? And you're like,
Right.
it's only $50, but you're watching like a football game or you're watching a fight, and you're like, to me, it, and I don't know, I'm like, maybe I have like an addict's like personality, but it fucking it releases like those endorphins where I'm like fucking like, oh fuck yeah, I get more invested in it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that, and I'm with you. I like to gamble on sports, and same thing, man. And stock market. I definitely identify with Rich on that one too. Um, but it does when you got to rush, especially if you start hitting a parlay and you know you're not going to just double your money. Like you're going to like hit 6 times the value. You know what I'm saying? Like you hit a
Mm.
3-way parlay. Oh, my favorite I like to do on basketball is the over the under, and then parlay that with either the point spread or the straight up victory.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. And for me, I'm like the parlays are fun, but I'm like I'm just not good enough. I always fuck up shit when it comes to like bets and stuff. But it
Right.
was cool to watch my homie when he was sending me his screenshots like the last few weeks of the NFL when he was showing me like he had Green Bay and he had like Tampa Bay, he had like whoever, and they were like all advancing in his little
Right.
parlay, and that was one of the ones because he had made that parlay bet in like the 5th of January or some shit, and it was like here we were like weeks later, and so he made a shit ton on that. He also made a shit ton on the he had bet, I think he had bet the fight before the McGregor fight. Was it Hooker
No, it was
or was it Chandler? Or is it Chandler Hooker? I don't even know. He had bet the fight before the McGregor and Poirier fight. He won that one, and he won because he had Poirier over McGregor, and he bet that one weeks in advance too. So
oh wow.
he made out like a bandit over the last couple of weeks, and I was like, motherfucker, I was like, I can't even win one fucking thing, you know?
Yeah, betting on Poirier paid what was the odds? It was 3.5 to 1 or what?
Yeah, last I heard, it was 3-1. Um, and I think yeah, the last I heard it was 3-1, but I don't know if it went up closer to the fight or whatever.
Right.
But and see that one, I was so close to fucking putting money on that. The only reason I didn't is because we took a trip to the other side of the country, and
Right.
I was like, I better be a little responsible, you know. Now I'm grateful I didn't because I would have put my money on McGregor. Because
Yeah.
me and my buddy were talking about it a few weeks before that, and I was like,
Right.
I think I'd go McGregor, and he was like, I want Poirier, and I was like, I don't know. And then like the fucking day before when they weighed in, my buddy hit me up, and he was like, dude, he's like, I think I made a mistake. He was like, McGregor looks fucking like ready. He looks fucking mad. He looks fucking amped. And then when fucking Poirier knocked him out, I was like, oh, this motherfucker is like stoked right now, you know?
I think McGregor. I mean, I don't think he's going to not win any more fights, but I think the big ones are pretty much done. I think
Agreed.
mentally he's lost that mental edge, and I think that it's happened so frequently with the Nate Diaz, and then what's the Normagov? What's that guy's name? Khabib with Khabib,
Oh,
and then
yeah. Norma, no, wait. Is it Norma? Some,
Normavechkov or something. But Khabib,
no,
and then even Poirier, and like, even when Nate Diaz beat him the first time, he
yeah,
whooped his ass. I mean, he
yeah,
whooped his ass, and then Khabib shut him down in Poirier. So I think maybe early in your career when you're still young, you can come back from that. But I think now that it's just too late because, he's not supposed to be dominated like that at this point in his career. And unless he's just overmatched or his opponent is just inferior, I don't think he's no more big main events, dude.
Yeah, no, I agree. And you know what? And I just checked. It's Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov, there we go.
Well, I think it's kind of like I think I mean not Poirier. I think Connor might have like one more main event in him, and if he fucking
Right.
loses it, I think he's fucked. I think he's
Yeah.
fucked forever after that but after that, like already, I think a lot of shit's already not gone to his head because I do think he's like focused and shit, but you can't be as focused as somebody like fucking Dustin when
Right.
you're fucking with the like clear Rolexes and fucking, you know what I'm saying?
For
Like the
sure.
shit he's got going on outside. Hang on a minute, right?
All right.
Hello? What's up? No, I left the air. I went to with Julie to go grab my stuff from the airport, and then I just started recording with my friend. Yeah, tell her you just talked to me, and tell her I'll give her a call tomorrow when I'm at work. All right. All right. Bye. All right. My bad.
No problem.
Yeah. No, but I think as focused as he is and he wants to be, having that much shit going on outside of it. Like, when was the last time he stepped in the UFC? Fucking what? 4 years ago, 3 years ago, or some shit.
Yeah, no, he
No,
beat
no,
did
no.
he beat
It wasn't that long. It was Cowboy. Not. It was like
yeah, he
what,
beat
1 or 2 years
Cerrone.
ago.
Yep.
It was the shoulders that he got him with.
But he's still he still has only fought what, 4 times in the last 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
hasn't been a
Yeah.
lot, you know what I mean?
No, and see, and that's what they're saying too. Like, one of my favorite people in the UFC is Nate Diaz, and I think he's gonna get fucked if he comes back and he fights whoever he fights next because he's had one fight like maybe close to 2 years ago now.
Right.
And I'm just like Connor said in his post fight interview, he was saying you can't fucking be inactive in this sport. You just can't.
No.
You could be the toughest motherfucker, but when you have somebody that's right there fighting 6 months ago and fucking, 6 months before that, and now he's ready, and you haven't been in the octagon in fucking a year and a half,
Right.
it's just something that I don't think fucking Nate, as much as I love him, I don't know if he has it unless they put him against somebody else who's fucking hasn't been in there that long.
He's gonna, if anything, they're gonna at least need a few tune-ups they can win, right, to build confidence and polish skills. Because you're right,
Mm-hmm.
man. Just in a fight, just how to react and change your style mid-fight. You know what I mean? Because that has to happen a lot in UFC. That's why they'll change and go southpaw, or maybe they'll try to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not prepared and continually making those adjustments, and you can't adjust, that's when you get your ass whooped, even if you're the better fighter.
No, you know what? And one of the things I was thinking about too is I had heard recently that Nick Diaz might come back, and I'm like, Nick hasn't fought in fucking, I don't know, fucking 2 3 years. Like because Nick hasn't fought since before Nate fought. Who the fuck did he fight? He fought that little like pretty boy fucking. I can't
Oh,
remember.
Pettis.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Nick hasn't fought since before fucking Nate had that fight. And Nate
Right.
had that fight like almost 2 years ago, you know?
Right. He did, and he beat
So
the shit out of him.
that was fucking, yeah. That was dope. That I actually watched that with my buddy Luis. He was in town and we fucking, it was the same time when fucking Paulo Costa fought somebody. It was fucking, it was like the fucking battle of the fucking ripped ass bodybuilder looking motherfuckers.
Right. Right. Hell yeah.
But yeah, man, there was I'm trying to think of, let me see. Rich's parlay bets. That was one I had. Oh, what about Rich's movie marathons with his fucking father-in-law?
I think Rich is pressuring him.
Yeah.
I think Cavino's right where they're making the cowboy voice and just I better watch these with Rich.
Yeah. I was just listening to that as I was like picking up my house and stuff, and I was like, I really, Rich is like, no, he's like, we're always looking for something to watch and all this shit. And I'm like, yeah, I just picture an old fucking white guy in Texas being like, all right, Rich. He's like, another Martin Lawrence movie, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. You
Yeah.
got to be getting tired of watching those.
No, and it's funny because like I do want to catch up on a couple Martin movies. Like, they were talking about the movie Life.
Right,
I saw that shit like I saw that shit when it came out, and I saw it probably once or twice since then. So I don't even really remember the movie. So when they were talking about it, I wanted to have an opinion, but I kind of couldn't. But the only thing I remembered was I didn't remember it being like a fucking funny ass movie. I just remember it being a good movie.
Right. No, I think it was a little more like a story instead of comedy, but that was with Tim Robbins, right?
No, that one was with Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah.
Tim
Okay.
Robbins was Nothing to Lose.
Nothing to lose. That's right.
I fucking loved that movie when
That
I
was a
was
good one too,
young. I
for
fucking,
sure.
I first, my bad. I first watched that movie with my cousins and shit when I was young. Man, I thought that shit was so fucking funny. Especially, is it Tim Robbins or is it? I think it's Tim Robbins who plays the reporter,
Yeah, I think so.
or it's somebody. Well, whenever he's like talking and then like, fucking, is it Chris Tucker that comes and he's like fucking trying to like be in the scene while they're like reporting out live and shit, and unless I'm thinking of a different movie. No, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, wait, Chris Tucker. I thought we were watching Martin. Whatever.
Okay.
But
Now, but yeah, and then the other thing that was when Covino said, "Fucking Jordan, the black dudes are that got the most game." What do you feel about that one?
you know what I thought? I thought it was kind of like, and I love Jason in Tampa, but did you hear his phone
Yes,
call?
he was a little. Yeah, he was bothered for some reason.
He was bothered and he was like saying like that's why like that if you say that it could put like a negative shit, and I think Cavino meant it very complimentary.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I took from it as well.
Yeah, I thought he meant it like when he was like, damn, like, and he even like he didn't. I heard like no like nothing negative when he was talking about it. He was like, oh, because the brothers are always fucking, and I felt like that like growing up in school and shit. They was always trying to kick it to somebody. And
Hmm.
for me, I'm like, fuck. I was like, I know I'm gonna get friend zoned. I was like, fuck it, let's go. But they were like, fuck no, they didn't even know the term friend zone.
No, hell no. And I think maybe Jason took it the wrong way because he took it like they were trying to mac on even people's women too, right? Well, like maybe he took it as like that they were disrespectful.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, no, I
But
could
I
see
but I
that.
don't think that's what Cavino meant because even the situation that he described, there was no way for that dude to because Cavino was in the car. So there's no
Hmm.
way for him to even know that she had a man unless she tells him.
Yeah.
So
You know
no,
what
yeah,
I?
he did get mad though. He did seem a little upset, but I didn't see nothing wrong with it because I think I was one or two callers after that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was funny. Speaking of that, when you called in, I was oh, this motherfucker's just fucking getting calling every day now, huh?
Well, you know what? I used to call in once or twice a week, but I started working 7 to 4, so I'd always had to catch the replay. But
Yeah.
that definitely once or twice a week. If they say something, I'm listening, and it strikes something, I'm calling
Yeah.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
No, it was funny because I heard that and I was like, oh shit. They're like, let's go to Al Kukui. I remember I was as gay as it sounds. I was in the shower and I had it playing on like the counter or whatever, and they're like, let's go to Al Kukui. I was like, this motherfucker again. uh,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
right.
man.
But I do, and I think, but for us, the way we grew up, we all got the game from them too, because we used to listen to music when we were little, like all the underground rap, and like they were always giving the game away on the music, so we were always trying to be like them when we were youngsters.
Yeah. Hold up.
Too
Give me give
short.
me give me a second real quick.
All right.
Oh yeah, no, and um, I don't know. And see, I'm like, I can see now how you're saying how fucking like, Jason could take it and feel like it would be like a little negative, but But see, that's one thing that I don't get is I feel like people would know him by now, and
Right.
know Covino, know his intentions, and know like I don't know. I just feel like that. I don't know why he took it that way. You know?
Yeah, it was kind of a, to be honest, it was kind of a bummer. You know what I mean? The conversation was going good. It was kind of like a buzzkill,
Yeah.
a little
You know
bit. I
what
mean,
Jason said when he called? He was like, "What the fuck did he say?" He made a reference or like used something I never heard before, where he was like, Covino. He was like, what did he say? He said, "I love you like a cousin I play with," or some shit. Did
oh
you catch
wow.
that
No,
or
I didn't
no?
catch it.
No, it was fucking funny, man. Because I was like, there's just some sayings that people say and shit that you never heard or whatever.
Right.
And he said it. He said it like nothing, like not like he was trying to be funny, or it sounded like just something that he would use like growing up, And
Right.
it made sense, Actually, the way he said it, um, actually when I was out of town over the last week, I got some news that one of my friends that I grew up with passed away, right?
Oh shit.
And I've known her since we were like 4 or 5 years old. Like literally, might have been in preschool together. I think we might have gone to preschool together, but I know for sure we were in kindergarten together. And her name's Shannon, right? So she's my fucking homie, and my other homie Exifer hit me up, and he was like, dude, he's like, I can't believe Shannon fucking passed or whatever. And I was just like, she was how Jason said, my cousin I used to play with or whatever he said. And
Right.
that's how I feel like all of us people that went to grade school together, it was like mostly like Mexican dudes and like a couple of black people and then like a few like little white kids. I think of like us growing up, like I said, there was some black kids, there was this little Mexican kids, and then there was like a couple little white kids, but it was mostly like minorities at our school.
Right.
And it's a trip because like I think of us like little cousins, like my mom, like when I told my mom Shannon passed, like my mom just about started crying. And she
Right.
was like I can't believe that shit. And it's crazy because I know I'm going off on a tangent, but she lost her parents, I think our senior year of high school, both
Oh
of them in a
shit.
car crash. It's crazy because she has a daughter who just started high school this year. And so
Right.
I'm like, damn, I'm like, she lost her parents her senior year. We were like 17, and then her daughter's losing her at like 14, which like around the same age. And
Yeah,
I'm
that
just like,
sucks.
fuck, man, like it's crazy. Like it's crazy how shit happens. Because like we were like Jason said, we were little cousins that used to play together, or whatever.
Right, man.
And
That's crazy. That sucks, dude.
yeah, man, it's a trip. Like, and it's crazy when you think about friends that you've had that long, and like I remember us like in kindergarten. I remember us on like our sixth grade trip when we went to Palm Springs, and we
Right.
went to like the water parks and shit. And then like graduating high school, and I remember like fucking we all turned 21 and we're out at the fucking bars together, and like all the fucking like your childhood homies, you guys were all drinking together and shit, and like and it's crazy, like you remember all those times kind of flash back when like they passed, and you're like, fuck, man, like that's crazy. She's 32, I'm thinking. Yeah, because we're all 32, 33, and it's just crazy, man, to think about that kind of shit.
Yeah, sorry to hear that, bro. That sucks.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it, and it's crazy. It's just like I don't. It's just a trip, man. Like but it's funny when Jason said that about he's like, Cavino, I love you like a cousin we used to play with or whatever, and I was just like, that's how me and my homies, like my grade school homies, always refer to it like we're extended cousins.
Right, right.
And it's a trip, but man, I didn't mean to bring down the mood.
No, that's all good, bro.
But no, there were some other things that were that they had. Let me see. Towards the one thing I want to get to. Let me see, because we're at 47 minutes. I'll probably get it to about 30. I'm gonna try to get this shit out tonight, so we kind of stay on schedule.
Okay.
So I'm not gonna do a whole lot of
Sweet.
editing, but yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about was fucking Sarah flying out to New York or whatever to get Rich's mom.
And Rich didn't go, huh?
No, it hasn't happened yet. Rich was Cavino actually told Rich, he was like, I was kind of he's like, I didn't want to bring that up because Rich brought it up, and Rich was like, shouldn't I be doing it? You know, it's my mom. Shouldn't I be going for her or whatever? And Sarah was like, oh no, I'll go get Marianne. She's like, I'll fly over there. I'll like help her pack all her shit, and then I'll drive back with her and her fucking gigantic dog.
Getting the
So
hell away from Rich for a week. That's what she's
no,
doing.
you know, that's funny because yeah, they were talking about how nice Sarah is, and Spot was like, "Fuck, man." He's like, "Kristen would never do that," you know.
Right.
And Sarah was like, "Well, that goes to show you because Rich had called her into the room, so she could, you know, voice her like opinion or whatever." And she was like, "Well, it just shows you that me going on a like a week long fucking trip to get Marianne is a getaway for her from Rich and from the kids, you know."
For sure. Just to step outside of that whole environment, and that's
Yeah.
good. Let her refresh a little bit and get some, even if it is Rich's mom, that way she gets some adult time, without kids.
Well,
That's a good thing.
it'll make for an interesting like week of shows, especially if she went like over the weekend,
Right.
and she's gonna be there this week or whatever because I'm sure Rich's mother-in-law is gonna be doing a lot of the like taking on like a lot of the grandma role where she's like wanting to fucking like baby the kids and shit, but a lot of that now is gonna be Rich, so it's not gonna be Sarah, it's gonna be Rich. So just hearing Rich's stories and shit, I think it's gonna make for a good week.
Oh, for sure, because he's going to give daily updates for sure. I got an
Yeah.
update on my mom and Sarah. I can hear it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, no, and I'm just surprised. I'm excited to see if actually Marianne goes through with it because I'm thinking that Rich's mom might be using the dog and shit as an excuse, like, oh, I don't want to go to Texas because of the dog.
Right.
But now they're kind of giving her a, you don't have any excuses. So now I'm curious to see what's gonna happen or what the story is this week.
I just don't understand why he's been pushing for her to go to Texas and be in his rental house so much.
Well, I think honestly, I think she's more of a pain in the ass in New York than she would be at Texas because she's always had like her financial issues and shit, and then she had Butch, and
Right.
I think now she's probably more like, I don't know. I feel like how like they say like when you get old you like turn into a child and shit. You're like
Right.
basically like, so now I bet you she's like whiny and shit and like real needy. And I
Right.
think if Rich is able to like put her in a house and have her closer, I think it'll be a little less annoying for him. But
Right.
who knows? I don't really know.
And big props to him for helping out. You know what I'm saying? Helping his mom and putting her in that house. I mean, that's a good thing to do, um, because he could rent it out and get money from it, or just even use it for his own personal needs when he goes to Texas.
Hmm. Hmm.
So putting it, it's a good thing. I just never really understood the process, or what the motive to do so was.
Yeah. You know, what cracks me up about Rich is like he said that, like Sarah, even when they were talking, she was like saying that Rich is like too harsh on his mom, and he was like,
He
yeah,
is harsh.
he was like, I can understand that. He was like, cause I'm more like, hey, mom, like get your shit together. you know, I couldn't
Right.
imagine like telling my parents that, like, hey, suck it
No,
up.
no, because and that's I, I won't do it. I'm not going to go on and bash them, but
I know, I know,
but
I know.
I mean, but you got to respect your parents, right? And we can't. They have to live up to their own expectation of themselves, not our expectation of them. And
Mm.
even if they do disappoint, I mean, they're your parents, man. You're supposed to still give them that utmost respect. I don't think a child really has a place to tell their parent that they're underachieving in life unless they're on dope, or something extreme before a
Or
child
something
should
cool
be.
like that, like dope
Yeah,
or
yeah, I mean, something. It would have to be something extreme. Like, you can't
yeah, yeah, I feel you.
disrespect your parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know.
I completely agree, man. And but yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was a good week of shows. I think a lot of the stock market and shit took over it because that was a big thing this week where it lasted a few days. But one of the things that I definitely want to hit on before we wrap it up is we're losing Archie.
When's that happening?
He's Friday was his last show.
Oh, really?
We're losing Archie, and you know one of the cool things that I love about Covino and Rich is that earlier in the week he got to interview Wendy Williams, and
Right.
his fucking Wendy Williams to him is like Michael Jackson to me, you know? Like that's
Right.
my like fucking I grew up like the biggest Jacksons fan. Like Michael Jackson was my shit. I loved the Jacksons like just as a fucking unit.
Right.
And that's like having, hey, you know, this week fucking Jermaine's gonna be on the show and Cavino's like, hey Daniel, do you wanna fucking interview Jermaine? I would be like, shut the fuck up. You know, like
Right.
they don't have to do that. They didn't have to give Archie that opportunity. And I think
No,
it's
they
fucking
didn't.
dope that they did because that's his fucking homie. Like he idolizes Wendy Williams like fucking like people idolize like Cavino idolizes fucking Derek Jeter, you know?
And I can't stand Wendy Williams. That whole conversation, dude. She was trying to justify it. She's basically a you know what, and she's trying to justify all her behavior. And that's all I heard from her that whole interview. And I was just
Yeah.
like, you know what? I just all I heard was like, I don't care what you've been through or what you got going on. There is still no reason to shit on people intentionally. If you want to separate and go your own way, cool. But to do damage and try to intentionally like put people down and shit on them, and and she just basically, the way she kept talking about her ex, I don't know. If you're done, you're done, right?
Yeah, you know when I that's one of the things I caught from that interview is that I'm like I don't know if there's what there is there because you would think she would be fucking over it.
Right,
But the way she was like, "Oh yeah, you know, before when my ex was my manager, he would have came and just shut my computer, you know, or whatever the
right.
fuck." It was kind of like I don't know how long it's been cuz I don't follow Wendy Williams, but if it's been more than like a year, like kick back, you know? Like
You shouldn't be giving details to the public like that on the end. If you're over it, you're over it. You go your separate way. You go your separate way. That conversation, the one you just referenced, seems like a conversation she should be having with her friend or someone in her life that's important, not on a talk show.
mhm.
And I'm not talking shit because we got great content, right? So we got to listen to it. But my opinion of her is only worse than it was before she went on there because you can tell she's still damaged, and the things she's doing is because she's bitter, and she just that doesn't make happiness. You know what I'm saying? And so she
Yeah.
really did herself a disservice because you know how much she's by her doing that, it's showing you how much she's still affected to this day,
Yeah.
which means she ain't healed. So she ain't gonna have, and then the way she referenced having a boyfriend and he needs to do this and I can do that, it just you could tell she's still damaged material. I wouldn't want to date her.
You know, what cracked me up I mean, yeah, I know I wouldn't want to be with her either just because of I feel like you fuck her over or whatever, which in every relationship there's going to be pros and cons, right? Well, I feel like after the relationship, if you're not
Right,
with this bitch till she dies, then she's
right.
going to talk so much shit about you when you're fucking done with her like instead of just like moving on, you know? Like fuck, man. Um but one of the things that cracks me up is fucking she has her thing where she's like how you doing, you know?
Right.
And fucking Cavino tried to do a how you doing fucking earlier in the show and he sounded like I think Rich even told him you sounded like Joey from Friends or some shit cuz he was like how you doing or
Oh
some
fuck,
shit and
that's fucking funny.
he knows her reference but when he said it he just couldn't like uncavino it, you know? So he
Right.
was like trying to be like the how you do and then Archie got on and he's like, "Hey Wendy," he's like, "First of all," he's like, "How you doing?" You know, and Archie like all flamboyant, and it sounded fucking funny. But Cavino's when he did it, it was just like, "How you doing?" or whatever. I can't even do it. It was fucking funny.
He's too Italian, is what that is. He got
Yeah,
that. He's got that
yeah.
Jersey talk.
He heard that "How you doing?" He couldn't fucking shake it, you know.
That's fucking
But
great, dude.
yeah, man. But no more Archie, which they were actually making fun of Jake. They were like, "Hey Archie," they're like, "Please stay in touch with us more than Jake does." And they go, by that, in order for you to do that, you just need to text us one time. Right. You text us one time, you'll be in touch with us more than Jake stayed in touch.
Oh, they never talked to Jake again?
Nah, they don't. They said that Jake fucking doesn't like really reach out or whatever. Like they were super close when he was on the show, but now he's kind of like in his own world and kind of like just kind of moved on from them, you know?
Right. Which sucks. I mean, I would still reach out.
I appreciate it. Another week. Again, I just want to say fucking later to Archie.
Peace, Archie.
And yeah, man. Anything you want to say before we bounce?
No, man. It's a pleasure like always. And can't wait till next week.
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate it. And I'm glad we got another episode out. Archie, it's been real, homie. We can't wait to see you in the future, and we'll be following along. Until the next episode, we got your boy D, El Cucuy. We're out.
Later.